Hi everybody, welcome back. So this lesson is a little different because it's more of an extension of the previous lesson. Also, I'm trying to make these videos shorter, so what I did was I broke them up into separate videos rather than having one or two long videos. The goal of this lesson is to basically do basic banking skills, meaning when you open an account, how do you deposit money in it to the first time, and then we'll end with how do you write a check, because believe it or not, check writing is still important, even though I admit like people don't really use it as much anymore. It's still good to know, and I'll explain why later. Now, before I get into checking accounts, I want you to look at this sheet right here. So this lesson is different because if you notice, there's no do now, and there's barely any questions. So just so you're clear on what you need to do, you're going to look at each step like you normally would. So you have to read what is in the box first. So we'll say step 1, watch the video by clicking on the link. I haven't posted the link yet, but the link will be there. You watch the video and then follow the next direction, move on to step 2. You go to step 2, you follow the direction in the box, watch another video, and you keep moving on. Once you get to step 4, this link, there's actually something to do here. It's not a video, it's just practice. And then where the lesson will end, after I do some more check writing with you, you'll be given 4 scenarios and you'll write checks for each of these scenarios. I'm going to be doing scenarios 1 and 2 with you, and then you're going to do 3 and 4 on your own. Now, for those check writing scenarios, you have 2 options. I attach this PowerPoint to the resources on this assignment so that for those of you who don't have a printer, you could fill in the checks on the PowerPoint. All you do is where it says edit text, you just type in the words that you're supposed to type in. Okay, now if you do have a printer at home, you have the option of printing out checks yourself that you could actually write on, because remember, at the end of the day, check writing, you write on the checks, you don't type on them. So I'm just saying that you have the option for both. So if you have a printer, you can print them out and then send me a screenshot of your finished checks. Or if you don't have a printer, you can use the PowerPoint and you'll just return the PowerPoint to me with the information completed. Okay, so let's get into checking accounts. So the first account you will probably open is a savings account. Checking accounts are for one thing, and that is to basically pay bills and spend money. They are not meant for saving money, really. So, like I said, if you don't have a job right now and you have no steady income, opening a savings account is the first step I would take. And then once you get a job or have a steady income, then look to opening a checking account. Now, before I begin, let me just make this very clear. Everything I tell you here is based on my own experience, my own opinions, my own research. Always, when it comes to personal finance, talk to people who do this stuff. You know, ask me questions, ask your parents questions, but at the end of the day, you have to do the research on your own and come to your own conclusions. So even though I'm going to offer advice here, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm completely right. Some of your parents might actually work in banks and might have better answers for me. So the point is, just talk to people and do the research on your own. So for savings accounts, I showed you Apple Bank. And what I'm going to do for checking is we'll go to a new bank just to show you how similar these websites are. So my bank is actually Bank of America. I chose it because Bank of America is around the country, so no matter where I travel in the country, I can probably find a Bank of America. So I just wanted that convenience. So I click on the Bank of America website. And if you look at the top here, it's basically the same categories that you saw in Apple, right? Checking, savings, credit cards. I think at Apple they had personal, and then these two were underneath it. But like I said, it's pretty much the same categories. So I'm going to click on checking. And then in this website, because every bank's website, right, is slightly different, but the same, I'm going to click on Explore Checking Solutions, which is another way of saying they're different accounts. I'll click on Get Started. And here it tells me the 3 different types of checking accounts Bank of America offers. Now I want more information from each of them, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click on compare accounts so I could see how are each of these accounts different. So here we have Bank of America Safe Balance Banking, and when I look at it, it says for students under age 24 may be eligible for a monthly maintenance fee waiver while enrolled in a school. So it seems like this is a checking account that could be for younger people, students. But then notice, what does it say here? It has a maintenance fee of either $4.95, meaning that every month they will charge you that amount for having the account, or $0 if you are under the age of 24. So which means if you're under the age of 24, you won't have to pay any money for having that account. But if you keep that account after 24, you would have to pay $4.95 per month to own it. That does not make sense. Now, the next account, Bank of America Advantage Plus Banking, now this does have a maintenance fee. It's either $12 per month or zero. So then the question is, well, how do you get the zero? Well, what does it say here? Ways to avoid the monthly maintenance fee each statement cycle. In other words, each month. Have at least one qualifying direct deposit of $200.50. In other words, if your workplace gives you direct deposit, meaning instead of giving you a check, they deposit your paycheck directly in your bank. If that paycheck is above $250, then there is no charge to your checking account. Or if you keep a balance of $1,500. So in other words, let's say you don't have direct deposit, but you always have $1,500 or more dollars in the account, then again, they won't charge you a fee. Or if you're under the age of 24. So in other words, these are the three ways that you keep the account from being charged any fee. If you get a job and they have direct deposit, do it. It doesn't make sense to get a check and then have to go to the bank to try to deposit and check it. You might as well have them put the money right into your account because it goes into your account much faster. So like I said, anybody who offers direct deposit at the workplace, always do it. Keeping $1,500 in your bank account, that's hard, right? Because remember, what is the purpose of a checking account? It's meant to spend money, pay your bills, buy things. So keeping $1,500 in it, unless you're very wealthy or extremely good with your money, that might be hard. And if you fall under the $1,500 and you don't have direct deposit, again, you're going to pay $12 per month just to have the account. And then there's this account, Bank of America Advantage Relationship Banking, where it's a $25 fee or $0 if you maintain a combined balance of $10,000 or more. Meaning, if between your savings and your checking account you have a total of $10,000 or more, then your account is free. But again, for us common people, that's kind of hard sometimes, right? If you scroll down, ways to pay, so it basically says all three of the accounts, you get a debit card, you can get a digital wallet, and you get checks if you purchase them. So this account has no checks. Everything is digital. But if you do the other two accounts, then you can get checks, but you'd have to purchase those checks. And then overdraft fees right here, those matter. In other words, let's say you forget how much money you're in your account, you spend on it, and all of a sudden you overdrew your account. So you had $35 and you spent $40, so now it's at -$5. This one says they'll decline the transaction to prevent you from overdrawing. And then with these, you have to choose overdraft settings. In other words, what they would do is they pull the money from your savings to cover the money in your checking. The overdraft fee for this account would be $35. So that means every time you overcharge, it means they'll take the money out of your savings to cover the charge, but then they'll charge you $35 on top of that. And then the minimum opening deposit, $25 to open the first account. You have to deposit $100 for the second and $100 for the third. So the point is, checking accounts only make sense if you have a job or are making money. If you don't have that right now, it doesn't make sense to open a checking account. Just open a savings. One thing I will say about checking accounts too, banks try to get fancy sometimes and offer checking accounts with, what they say are high interest rates. Here's the thing. It doesn't make sense to get a high interest rate with a checking account because, again, the purpose of the checking account is to spend your money, not keep your money. So it really negates any benefit of getting high interest rates. So if you look at this one account, this is the only account, the third one, that offers interest rates. So it says balances less than 50,000, you could get 0.01. Balances 50,000, 100,000, you get 0.02. I mean, those interest rates are crappy to begin with. First of all, unless you're wealthy, you're not going to have balances in your checking account above those numbers anyway. I mean, when I mean wealthy, I'm not saying you have to be a millionaire, but like I said, if you're just, working in New York City, a job that pays 50,000 a year, it's going to have hard these numbers. So the point is, checking accounts, what you're looking for is, how do I get the account to be free? Do not worry about interest rates for checking accounts because, again, the purpose is to take money out of the account, not keep money in there. It's the savings accounts that you want the better interest rates. So I hope this helps clear up what checking accounts are and what are the different types that are out there. Like I said, these 3 checking accounts are similar to what Chase offers, what Apple Bank offers. It's like I said, it's all pretty much the same. So the only way you see is by exploring. But always make sure that the easiest thing is to have your savings account and checking account in the same place. One other thing about checking accounts is the reason you should have it is because if you notice, like when you go to the market sometimes, you'll see people going to cash their checks, meaning they don't have a bank. So what they have to do is they have to take their paycheck and go to some third party to cash it for them. The problem with that is the third party charges them a fee. So think about it. If you get a paycheck for $500, in order to get the money from that paycheck, you're going to give it to this organization. They will give you the money, but then they'll charge you a fee for doing it. So you're not going to get your $500. You're going to get maybe $475 because maybe the fee is $25. So the point is, having a checking account allows your paycheck to go directly into your hands without having to pay somebody else to cash it for you. Okay guys, I will see you in the next video.